Hello everybody, this is Jack B1024 and welcome to episode 50 of our Dynamic Factory Let's Play series. So last episode we looked at a better system to actually count how much fluid is entering or leaving our network, because we have the issue with this setup where our pumps store an amount of fluid and that fluid is never counted. So that could lead to our numbers that we have being incorrect to the amount that we actually have. And so this is the design that we finally settled on, which has one pump filling up one tank, then after a while another pump fills up two tanks, which actually count how much liquid we have, and then we empty those two tanks out into our main system. Now, so this whole setup is actually counting how accurate this system is. So every time it fills this pump and this tank completely up, so that's 25,200 liquid. And then we count how much is in these two tanks, and we compare it to our value of 25,200 to see what the offset is. Now, this is where we actually store all our results. The blue is the number of times we've run the test. Grey is it's been less than 0. So we've been off by between 0 and -1. Green is less than 2 and pink is less than 1. So you'll notice that green and pink are only at 2 while the other two are at 9. And the reason for that is right near the end of last episode I changed this decider from being 900 ticks to 600 for this timer here. Because I stated that, within 10 seconds these should have all the fluid in them. And while that's correct, if you're looking at the water signal right now, you'll see that it actually was oscillating between, -4, -3, -2, and -1. And the reason for that, I believe, is that the circuit network mustn't count the amount of fluid we're actually moving from one tank to another. And so at that time, because these two tanks don't have the same amount of fluid, they're, transporting a bit back and forth, sloshing it around. And so that's not actually getting counted. And so we actually need to give it enough time for it to almost stabilize. I don't think it can completely stabilize, but get as close as it can so we can get an accurate reading, or as accurate as we can. And as you can see, it's got the grey, which means that it's less than 0, but it means that it's not less than 1. So it's probably actually equal to -1 because these are all in integers. So you can see, here we go again, you can see it. Even though the pump's not on, it's just sloshing that liquid around. And there we go, we got the tick and it was about -1. Which is cool. We'll keep that running for the rest of this episode so that we can at least get a lot of results and make sure that that does work as we expect it to. So now that that is done, let us actually go, not to this one, I want to go to wherever we make, here, our steel plates. So I think I need some more steel plates. No, I do not. I need iron. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to look at all of our tank setups and set them up to this new circuit. Which means we're going to actually need a lot of tanks because this new circuit takes a lot more tanks than it used to. Let's just take those. And we can get this all updated now. We've got this circuit down here that we need to fix up, so let's actually go to our crude oil production area first. Now I'm not going to fully set them up yet. I'm just going to set it up so that all the tanks and all the pumps are there. So we don't actually have too much room to work with here. It's a little bit annoying. I'm going to move, okay. Let's throw a report over here. Ooh, I do not have any copper plates. We definitely need some copper plates so I can make some more medium electric poles. So let's go find our copper furnace, which should be just up here. Get a bunch. Okay, so we'll set up all these tanks. Down here we'll have to also fix it up on our production area. Then we should have everything completely set up so that we can actually start producing or really refining our crude oil, because we're already producing it. Can we fit... Oh, look at this. If I switch them around, it'll just fit. Okay, so we need to give these power. And I actually want some more crude oil tanks there. Now this is where we're currently reading our crude oil from, these tanks over here, but these tanks over here are before we've actually counted them into our network, so I want to actually move that. So we're only counting the crude oil in these tanks. That's better. Now this isn't using the new circuit yet, it's still using the old one to count, but it's all set up, so we could use the new one. But I'll let it continue testing and make sure that it all works as we want it to. So up to this place. Now this is going to be a bit more annoying because we have, well, firstly we have 4 different areas where we have to count fluids. We need to count them from here, which actually these might need to be counted separately too. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different fluid areas. Yeah, these aren't counted at all. They're just taken off the train. So we will actually need to probably count these over here. But counting these ones are going to be also annoying because we don't have much room to work with. What I might do is I'll move these ones up higher and just squeeze out a little bit of extra room that we can get. I don't want you there though. There and there. Yes, that'll work. And we just need to find a good way to actually pipe all these into this tank over here, which... No, we don't want to connect that up. So we'll have to connect it in like that. That should work. It's a bit of a not a great looking setup, but it should work for that one. Should we replicate it for these? And be what, there, there. Yeah, and we can bring these under. Okay, yep. Just hope we have enough room actually to fit this in, because this would go here, have a pump there, this one would go there, that one would go there. So actually that does just fit. Don't think this set will fit, but that's okay, we have room to the west to set it up. Okay, this one I do that way and that way. 1, 2, 3 and 4. How are we going for iron plates? I'm going to actually want some, I think some normal pipes just to connect this one into here and into here. We're going to have to wait till they're built. Now this is also not in a good spot. Yeah, it can go over there. That might not be in the best spot, but at least it'll do for the moment. Radar dish there. That'll do. Okay, so we want 1, 2, 1, 2. Do I not have any more pumps? Okay. Because they take normal pipes, don't they? Yep. Just make that many for the moment. Okay, pipe. So this connects to that one. There. And now we just connect this in. So that wasn't actually too hard to set up. We just now need to connect all our normal pipes up and connect these to these lines down here. So what we'll do is we'll connect this one. We can't connect it to there. That would have been a nicer spot. Yep, so that's that one connected, and we just need to run a new line for this one over here. So there. That robot port is exactly in the way. Okay, that doesn't actually reach. Yep, that's all that lined up. We need to give this power again. And we need to give these pumps some power. Okay, so that's the output side of our refinery done. Now we'd need to set up the input side, which would need... Oh, I need even more tanks. Means I need more steel pipes. Or steel plates. So there we go, I'm back with more steel, more tanks. Let's see if we can find a good place to set all this up. Now we need similar setup to this. How much space is there between them? There's a whole tank between them. Okay. Trying to think if I can nicely lay this out in this sort of direction. That pole's not needed. That looks like everything is in an okay spot. And we need to just duplicate this, probably here. Not there. Let's go forward another. Oh no, actually that works because we need to have our pump. And then our next 4 pumps. And again, I am out of pumps. There we go. So now we just need to find a way to actually connect one of these lines to this and the other line to this one. And then these to their correct spots. Now we have currently got this connected to the right and this connected to the left. But that doesn't actually matter because we're going to be moving how these are connected anyway, so yeah, that looks like it'll work. What we'll do is we will connect the left up to the closer one, and we will connect the closer one up to the left set. Which is good. That now means that this left one connects to the left input and the right one will connect to the right input once we have it connected up. Let's see if I can go from here. It's actually not a good way to get through all this mess of piping. yeah, it'd be nice if there was a way down here to get through, but there just isn't. So that goes to there, that goes to there, connect that, that. And this needs to connect to the right side. Again, we can't actually get through there. Sneak through here for the moment. Connect them up. That one and that one. Underground for that, underground for that. I think that is our whole system connected up at last. Okay, now we don't have any of the circuits to actually count how much fluid is coming up into these spots here and being consumed. There really is no nice way to get past this whole setup. You have to go by this spot here. I think I want to give this some more tanks. And we'll count these up. This will be how much liquid there is in this station. Now that needs to go... Actually, I think that goes on a green line, but I'll just change the color. Yes, I think it goes on this green line here. No, that's counting how many items are in the train. It's this green line here. I just need to bring it all the way across, and I will put just a arithmetic combinator to convert it from a red line to a green line, and we can hook that in. So now it's time for us to actually start hooking everything in. I don't think we've given any of the stations numbers or names yet. No, we have not. Okay, so let's start doing that. So, what number are we up to? 53. So 053. And this is a refinery unloader. Which makes this 154. Refinery loader. Actually, no, these are the unloaders. They're the loaders. I mean, it doesn't really matter because the unique thing is their... Yeah, the unique thing is their number. But, yeah, 55 and 0056 refinery unloader. But let's at least keep it consistent. So this is actually a loader because it's loading our factory block with the resources. So if we have less than... Okay, so how much does each train carry? Is it 25,000 per wagon or is it 75,000? Let's just make it 25,000 for the moment, so we'll say 50,000. We'll make it 25 for the moment. Then we want to request crude oil to 6784. That's not a 6, 6784. And we want it in... I should have looked up the recipe to see which one ends up being water. And we'll get it in wagon 1. And these are our outputs, and we actually need a lot more than what we had. Now, let me see how this is connected. Yep, red on the front, green on the back too. So green, we're going to actually need two poles for this. So we'll connect this one to the further and this one to the closer. So that should connect to that one, and that should connect to that one. Okay, let's see where these red and green lines connect. Okay, so we should have a medium electric pole that they should connect to. So, so there's a medium electric pole they should connect to. So that's this one here and this one here. So let us connect this up to this line to that pole. Actually, I'll connect this line up to here and to that pole. Connect the green back, though we haven't actually connected the red in yet. That's fine, as long as we remember what we have to connect. So your green can now connect to here, to there, and now we can connect the red back. And that should be the red line completely connected and the green line completely connected. Yep, good. Those two stations are now set up. Okay, so let's add 128 a few times just so we can get the station numbers. So this is if we have 25,000 heavy oil. This one is light oil, and this one is petroleum gas. I think. Let's actually check those. Petroleum gas goes to this one, which goes to there, which goes to the bottom. Yep. Light and heavy. Yep, that is actually correct. Okay, so you are station number 6912. You are station number 7040. And your station number 7168. Oops. Okay, let's give this back to the correct number of 7040. Yep, and these are just 64 because these are supply stations. Okay. I should check if that sent off anything. I hope it hasn't, and it doesn't look like it has. That's good. These are actually connected in, but oh well, I guess they can't yet. This is the one that could. It seems to believe that it has, but I don't see a request. It's odd, it should have sent it off, but disconnect that for the moment. There we go, okay, it's ready to send off its request. I don't think this can even handle it having a request. No, there's nothing here for crude oil. But because it'll always choose the lowest number anyway, and these are all really high numbers, I'm fine with actually sending the request off. And I actually see it now. So there we go, we got a request for crude oil. Now we need to go to our supply station so that it can actually send off a message saying that we can supply crude oil. Now this station can't send requests. 50,000 doesn't have a number, does have a number. Okay. Now when I set up this station number, I'll need to remember to actually set up these numbers up here at the same time. So 0057. This is our oil field unloader. And now let's set up these numbers. So 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, save all that. Then we're going to need to add them to the trains. We're going to need to set the trains up, and then that should be everything fine. So this is 7296. Everything else there should be set up fine. This probably believes that it's already sent off a request, and it does. So we'll reset that. It's ready to send off its request. And do we have it up here? We do. Now, probably means it's one of the only, it's the only thing now at the moment that we have both supply and demand for, but we don't know how to deal with it yet. Which is why that train was still just waiting for a different command to come through. So we're going to need to go up to this station. We're going to need to be able to add the ability for trains to get requests for crude oil. We're going to need to worry about this nest off to the east here, which actually means I want to make some more laser turrets. I think I'll actually want to make the laser turrets first. And let's get off the train track. Let's repair this. I do still need to give myself proper driveways for my car. But let's go get some laser turrets. We'll then set up the ability for trains to get requests for petroleum. We'll need to set up the ability for trains to actually know about those new stations. And we just need some more circuits now. And that should be our petroleum engineering up and running. Okay. Which one of you are coming to repair the car? Looked like both of them were, because the other one left, but oh, maybe it was just still on charge. Okay, trains. You're at the waiting bay. It's actually a lot at the waiting bay. So 53 is a loader. So that means that should be... Ooh. Is inventory empty? Does that count fluids? Well, there's an item count and a fluid count. So I'd assume inventory empty. Can I do like fluid count all fluids? No. So I guess inventory empty must be the right one then. It must count that as inventory. I hope it does. 54, that's an unloader, so we want inactivity. And we want a circuit condition. Needs to know where to go to next. .55 is again inactivity, circuit condition. Okay, so there's our trains all set up. Save the lines. So the next thing we need to do is actually be able to support telling the trains to go to the crude oil station. And just before I actually finish that, one thing we want to make sure is that this looks like it's set up correctly. It looks like the light's set up to turn on. Otherwise the train will just go back to here. Now this is set... Yeah, this should actually prevent that train from going on anywhere else, but there we go. That train should now be on its way. Let's see. Yes, it's at least going to the correct station. I want to actually follow it to see that it all works fine. Fortunately, trains are a little bit faster than I am. Why did you go? Oh, yep, that is how we get to that station. Forgot that that one was incorrectly connected into our network. I do not see a train down there. Okay, it was still on its way. So a train go up and did not see one down here, so I thought something must have gone wrong. Okay, let's have a look what's going on here. So our train isn't getting any resources. We have a train signal on this line. We don't have this line connected though. So what I'm going to do is I will disconnect the red and green from here. Then we connect the green first because the green's the reply, though it shouldn't matter now because I've disconnected that first red and green. Otherwise the order we connected them there would actually matter because we need to connect the red later because the red actually sends off the request while the green gets the reply. So, same thing here, I think. Now in this case the green sends off the request, so we'll make sure we connect the red first. And then we'll connect the green, which should send off the request, and this train already went off to the next station because it got where it's got to go. Okay, so it's got to go to 53 RL. Let's important that we remember that because we're going to have to manually send the train there. Actually, wait, let's see. Here we go, it's this one. Okay. I want to see, I don't think there's any fluid in its fluid wagons. I should have actually set it so that it wouldn't move on, so that we could actually fill it up. But here it is back again, though it's not going to know what it needs. So send you off back to the base, and we will go up to station 53 and we'll resend off that request for it to pick up crude oil. What? Okay, well, at least our defenses are working. And we are going to have to actually deal with this nest over here. Shouldn't be too hard to do, actually. So, that's probably this station here. Would be 53, if I had to guess, and it is. So what we'll do, we'll disconnect the send line, we'll reset it, and there should be a request just about to go out. Connected and it's sent off. Now, we haven't got a train coming here, so what I think is the issue is that our sending station didn't reset, saying that it actually has processed a train. So we need to go and fix that up. So we'll just come down here. This is a fairly simple fix to do. We just have to disconnect the output line for our sending. And yep, reset here. Okay, we should now see, probably this train that's coming up will be the one that will get the request. It's on its way to 57, which should be this station here. It is. So we'll see when it gets here if it actually comes and picks up the oil. Checking our pollution, that's, yeah, once it starts processing, it's definitely going to be hitting that nest. Actually, how's our pollution down here? So we probably triggered an attack from these guys down here. They don't seem too bad at the moment, though. So there we go. It's odd that it's... Ah! Okay. We will need to actually fix this up so it's actually hooked in. Yeah, we'll do that there. And we'll do a straight one there. So, yep, helps if our pipes are actually connected incorrectly, but our train would have gone here and dropped off a very small amount of crude oil, but there should actually be another train coming down now that that one has done its thing. Oh, here we go. Train didn't even make it there yet. Look at all that crude oil. Whole 600 units. Okay, well, our next train should be on its way. Actually, ooh. Yeah, it should be on its way now. This believes it sent off a request. I don't see a destination or a source, which normally means that a train is already on its way. But I don't see any trains on their way. Okay, well, that shouldn't be connected like that. Where are you going? You're like number 2. This green line is connected correctly. Let's just make sure of that. No, it connects to here, which goes absolutely nowhere. Wait, does this green line need to be connected? This train here. Let's look at another pickup station just to check that everything's connected right. So you go that way. Red signal has how many items we have. Yeah, that should be fine. What sends off the request to reset this line? Doesn't this green line here connect to that line there? I believe it does. And with it not being connected, that's probably the reason why this has not sent off a new request. So we'll get it to send off, there we go, a new request, and I'll head off to the refinery station and we'll see what's going on up there. Okay, so here we are at the refinery station and I can already see an issue. This green line goes nowhere. It should go over to here and that should actually reset this. So that is why this part of the circuit wasn't reset. So we'll just set that up. Now we should have this train coming to 57. 57's correctly piped in, so we should actually get a whole wagon worth of fuel, or crude oil I should say. So it gets over here. And this will be proof that this is working. Okay, let's check that this all is connected in. Did it not pump anything? I mean, it connected to the top. Okay, there's no way for this train to go from this line to this line, so let's actually fix that up. Just need a simple train track like that. Yeah, I don't see anything in this. Okay, I'm going to have a look and see what's going on. I'll be back once I've done that. See you soon. So I fixed the issue with the pump not working. We were missing an underground pipe right here, so it wasn't actually connected in. And as you can see, the pump is now working. It's now filling up our fluid wagon. And once that hits 25k, it should... I think it's what, like 5 seconds of inactivity, and then it will head off to our refinery area up here. It's already actually got a set that's come through. It's currently busy refining it, and I was going to check how the pollution is going, because it's going to be getting close to this nest to the east. So there we go, you can see it all draining out into these 4 tanks, which should actually drain into these 6 tanks and mainly into these 4 at the end here. Yes. Maybe it'd be nice if there was a pump here just pushing it out, but... Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Well, anyway, here are all our refineries busy working away. That's good. And here is our heavy oil, light oil, and petroleum gas. Now, we're not actually counting any of this at the moment, so we do want to eventually do that. But first, I definitely want to go and take out this nest to the east. Even though our pollution still seems to be... Oh, it's about 1 block. You can see this chunk here is actually slowly flickering, so only a chunk away. We definitely want to fix that up. Do I want to take my car, or will I just go on foot? It is just over here, so... How close can we get? hoping that these 3 will be enough to hold them off while I go slightly closer, but we'll see how we go. It's not that great of a defense, but while they're busy attacking me, I can actually run back here and just get all these turrets to join in on the fight. Okay, so yep, it is just 5 nests and 1 small worm. So it's not too bad. Let's just repair these guys, and then we will make our more forward base. And just let these guys die, and then we'll go back forward again. Actually, maybe I should I'll pick up these 3 from here just so I can increase the amount. And I should have thought about the fact that you can't put the turrets straight against the wall because they can actually attack through 1 layer of wall. So I'll actually just quickly do that. I mean, it's still not the best because they can attack the sides, but at least we have twice as many turrets here, and we should actually be able to start considering laying them down, getting ready to attack their main bases. Just watching my health at the moment. Come on, take them to out. There we go. Oop. Okay, health is getting a little lower than I would like it. And this one's actually getting a bit more damage than I would like. What have we got? Well, they're at least taking out 1 nest. I think, yes, we got at least 1 in range of the next nest. So not the greatest way to take out the nest, but it'll still work. And autosave just when I didn't need it. There we go. Take out the worm. That should take out the next 2 nests, and I'll actually move the back 2 forward as well. Let's just put another pull up here. There we go. And I'll just top it out. There we go. So now that we've destroyed that nest, we don't actually have to worry about budders being too close to where our pollution is. I mean, we still have those nests down to the south that we're going to have to deal with, but you know, we don't need to deal with them just now. Actually, one thing I do want to check is I want to check how our military science is coming along. Okay, you still haven't got steel plates. Do we have demand 5.6? I'm going to assume this is 5.6. Yes, it is. So the next place steel plate should go is to there. Let's just see how our production of them is going. I think that's... Okay, it's this one here. Yeah. So we have about 23k, and I think 24k is our amount. So 110 more, and then we will have a delivery, which means that that'll send them over here. 8.5k, we need 12k. How expensive are those to make? 1 steel plate each, so I'm going to expect to get, I assume 4k across of steel plates, if at the minimum, which means we will get our 12k. And that's going to go down to our military science production area, which looks like it's low on gun turrets, perfectly fine on the grenades. But we don't have any of the red ammo, so we'll be getting that. So we might actually be able to get a small amount of it, still not that much, but an amount anyway. Ooh, okay. Yes, we must have had one time where iron plates came over here and I haven't fixed it up yet, I believe. So we're going to have to fix that up too sometime. But with our armor-piercing ammo, almost ready to be made. That'll at least mean we'll start actually making some military science. And we need that military science to get our upgrades to our laser turret damage and firing speed, both of which will allow us to more easily take out bases. Which will be good because we'll be able to take out this base down here, which is, yeah, you can see there's like, at least these two chunks are getting pollution in them and being absorbed by the nests. So we definitely will want to deal with that. That's probably because, yeah, there's probably a few of these that are on, as we're getting a fair few trains worth of crude oil being moved to our refinery area to get processed. We have a good amount of petroleum gas though. Now, let's think about the next step. So we're going to want to have blue science. Which blue science recipe is this? I think this is the normal one, which is just plastic bars is the hardest part to make of this, because that's just steel and iron, so that's easy enough. Mining drills are probably just iron and a bit of copper, yep. And yep, red circuits. They take 14 seconds, so it's 14 total. They take 6 seconds. 2 of those things we already make. Plastic bars are just coal and petroleum, so that's not actually all that hard. Especially since we already have coal and petroleum we can just pull from here. But our issue is we're not counting how much heavy or light oil we've got added to our system, so we don't know when to run those. For the moment we don't have cracking, so for the moment what we can do is we could set up chemical plants that always turn it into solid fuel, because we have no use for it except for it to be solid fuel. I mean, up here we only do it when we get a full tank, but that's not even all that useful because, oh well, lubricant, we need heavy oil to make it into lubricant. That is one way we could get past actually having to count how much stuff there is. But we do eventually want to start counting our resources coming in and going out. And I assume you must be full of, yep, iron ore. Just odd, I would have thought more of these would be filled with enough. Where's our counter? 12,000 versus 8,000, okay. Have you also got iron ore? No, you're picking up iron plates. Okay, cool. So, let's think about what we want to do next. Do we want to set up our counters next, or do we want to set up our blue science production areas? Now, there is a different recipe that's also fairly easy. I think there's one that just takes petroleum gas, which is therefore even easier than this one because we don't need to worry about turning it into plastic and then into advanced circuits. So I might actually wait. Yeah, I think I'll wait till I see what all 3 recipes are. Or I'll just look at the mod and write them down and figure out which one I want to go with. So in the meantime, what I may do, not actually sure how long this episode's gone for. I think this has now gone for a whole episode. There's a few breaks in the middle, which makes it a bit annoying to figure out how long it's been. So I think on next episode, actually next will be episode 51. So what I want to do for episode 51 is I want to do like a summary sort of episode of everything we've done, talking about it, just so if anyone new starts watching, they can just look at episode 51 and, they'll know what this whole section is. Because if you're brand new, you see this, you're like, what on earth is going on? So yeah, I might do an episode just summarizing everything we've done in the last 50 episodes. And then the next episode after that, or between the episodes, what I'll do is I'll set up what we have here with our counting resources going out and into the network. I'll set that up on every station. And I'll even set it up over here because we already know. Actually, we should check how this is going. So we set this up ages ago, and 66 blue and 66 grey. So that means it's done it 66 times so far. 64 since I fixed up the timing of this. That's right, I made this one slightly longer. And every time it's been a -1 value. Which is good. A -1 is much better than getting like 200 or 60 or something through. And if it's always off by 1, which it might actually be. So maybe that's what I'll do next is how do I make a random number generator? Because that's what I would want. I'll think about exactly what I'll do. But I'll have it not fill this up completely. And that way we can test it with, different amounts filled in here. And if it still is -1, because if it's always -1, then that's fine, because that just means it's not counted on either end. I think that should be fine. In fact, we could even possibly fix it by just assuming it's always -1. But, yeah, so I already have the circuit for that. I've talked about that, so we can actually hook that into, all these tanks here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slots here. We have another 4 lots here. These 2 are already hooked in, though not completely correctly. So I can actually hook all the liquids up, and then we can start episode 52, having all our counters in place for liquids and for solids. And we might spend episode 52 looking at a way that we can use these counters to basically manually optimize our factory ourselves. So we can look at it, and we can look at how much has come in and out in the last minute or last hour even, in minute segments, and use those numbers to determine, okay, so it looks like we're able to produce enough iron ore, say, to handle 5 furnace areas, so let's make another one. And we can do stuff like that, and eventually that'll be all moved over to the brain, but at the moment we are the brain. But yeah, I think that's a good place to leave off. So this is Jack B1024 signing off. Have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow.